because he's not
Here's the
passive
problem I
aggressive
have.
like that.
Here's the problem I have, and it's with what we're talking about this in particular with LeBron James not wanting to play against rising stars. All these other NBA players have to play against his son because LeBron has kind of put him in that situation. Who's a rising star? So what's the difference now? What he
Slow
doesn't want
clap.
to play. He doesn't want to play
Mm.
against the young guys, but everyone else
Completely
has to play.
different. Completely different.
How's
But
it
I
different?
roll with it.
Because those
How
kids
is it
deserve to
different?
be there.
Why is it different? Like,
What
why
is
is
he
it
taking?
different?
What is he taking away from? What is he taking away from anybody? He's not taking away from
He took away
anybody.
an all-star. He took away an all-star from like Sabonis.
So Chandler Parsons came out criticizing LeBron James' non-involvement in the 2025 NBA All-Star Weekend. Chandler stated all these other players have to play against his son. Chandler Parsons ripped LeBron James for not playing against the rising stars. But Lou Williams disagreed with his co-hosts. As much as LeBron James had been praised for leading the shorthanded LA Lakers team at 40 years old, four-time MVP has now become the subject of criticism after pulling out of the 2025 All-Star game at last minute. Just minutes before Shaq OGs were about to face the enthusiastic Rising Stars team, the Kings' decision to sit down the entire game led to a wave of backlash. Among LeBron's harshest critic was Chandler Parsons, who highlighted the former's hypocrisy. Speaking on an episode of the Running Back Show, the former Rockets forward took a sarcastic dig at how the four-time NBA had no interest in competing against the newbies in the league on a night that usually celebrated the game's best players, yet expects every superstar to compete against his firstborn, Bronny James, who averaging 1.4 points so far in his rookie season. Here's the problem I have with LeBron James not wanting to play against the rising stars. All these other NBA players have to play against his son because LeBron has kind of put him in that situation. Who's a rising star, Parsons said. So what's the difference now? He doesn't want to play against the young guys? Former NBA player Lou Williams clapped back at Parsons.
Selfish. He has a different standard than everybody else, and it's earned. But again, if we're talking about the basketball part of it, I'm not playing against these young guys. I deserve more than that. I deserve more than to have that. And now is that a selfish? Is that kind of a selfish only way to think about it? Sure. But if I'm LeBron James, like drop Kobe Bryant in his position, drop Michael
But he
Jordan.
knew the format. But he knew the format before yesterday.
Drop Michael Jordan in this position, drop Kobe Bryant, and
To add to the four-time NBA champ's misery, Parsons' co-host Michelle Beadle echoed his sentiment, arguing that LeBron robbed another deserving player of an all-star selection by waiting until the very last moment to withdraw. Interestingly, Lou Williams fired back, calling the criticism unfair. The three-time Sixth Man of the Year emphasized how in year 22, James has already featured in 48 games, logging 34.5 minutes per game and yet averaging 24.3-point games and 9-point assists to keep the purple and gold among the top 6 seed in the West despite them trading Anthony Davis and being without an injured Luka Doncic. More notably, Lou dismissed the notion that Bron was uninterested in competing against the rising stars as per the new All-Star format, arguing that no former or active player or analyst has the right to question his commitment given his workload and longevity. So he has a different standard than everyone else. Luka wasn't there at all, but we don't even speak about it. He has a different standard than everybody else, Williams said. So I can appreciate that you even showed up for this. Michael Jordan wouldn't have showed up. Kobe wouldn't have showed up. Parsons remained unmoved by Lou Williams' comments. While Parsons acknowledged how James did turn about for the last day of the All-Star Weekend, making it worthwhile for fans to spend so lucratively, but couldn't resist taking another brutal jab at the four-time Finals MVP. The 36-year-old analyst suggested that LeBron would have played through anything only if Bronny had been on the Rising Stars team. There's no denying that hard-working players like Domantas Sabonis, who is leading the league in rebounds and averaging a double-double this season, could have used James' absence as an opportunity to earn the All-Star nod. However, the extreme backlash against LeBron James when he has merely prioritized his health for his team's greater cause shows how the narrative will always be dicey and perhaps unfair around him. I disagree with unfair criticism because he didn't have to wait to the final hours on the final day to state that he's not going to play because he want to nurse his injury to help the Lakers perform in the second half of the season. You already knew that if on Friday that you wasn't going to play because of this injury. The injury always been there. You played days ago. You could have gave somebody else that spot, and that's just being selfish. And now you teaching your son to follow your footsteps of just being selfish, and he don't even deserve to be selfish.